August series.
It's a new day.
It's a new day. We've got new picks. To my right, we got Matthias. To my left, we got Adrian and myself, Gibran. So let's jump right in. Market picks, fellas. What did we choose this week on Marketplace? What do we want to buy, and why do we want to do it? Adrian.
Well, I am a BMW guy. I try to not fall into that connotation, but I think the best value I've seen this week is a 135i. It's an N54 6-speed manual.
Is that an N54 or is it a 55? Is it an 08, right?
Oh, excuse me, here. It should be N54, yeah. It's a 2008.
Okay.
N54. And actually, we could debate about N54s versus N55s for quite some time. I will tell you guys, I am not a fan of either.
That's the thing, man.
Yeah. I've been in a 4.4 liter, 4 liter, 5 liter guy now my entire life. I can't touch a 3 liter twin turbo or twin scroll turbo in 9.6. It's not just the sound. It's not. They're not reliable either. I would take timing chain guides over keeping up an N54, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's more than timing chains. The things don't freaking move, bro. they're just slow.
What doesn't move?
Those 4 liter and 4.4 liter V8 engines.
Well, comparative to an
M62, is it?
Yeah, well, M62 B44. Okay,
yeah.
Let's just call it my last 01 540 IM Sport. I thought that car was a decent daily driver in terms of power, just the right amount of torque, and 330 foot-pounds of torque, but it felt like more, in my opinion.
Yeah. Fair enough.
The N54 just lacks any sort of power band.
What?
In my
power
opinion.
band is there everywhere.
It's all backwards in my opinion. The N54 and even N55, you have to shift early all the time if you want to be in that power band.
So you're a revs man. You're not a power man. You're a sound and feeling.
We don't even know what he is anymore.
I mean, we're power plateau man.
I would drive this car until the motor blows up or whatever have you, or if a coil pack goes, I'll just rip the engine out of the 135. I think the ultimate dream build for that. We might discuss about putting too much money into cars later. However, I've never done anything like this. I have fantasized about putting an S65 V8 in something else.
A 1 Series, right?
No, actually, an E39 540 chassis or a 1 Series, but I think the 1 is the way to go. However, the clearance on the engine is so tight that you have to literally lift that engine out of the car just a little bit to do the spark plugs.
Jesus.
So it's a very tight fit.
So, see, to me, when I hear that, I mean, you had me until the engine swap. Because I tell you, I had a period, like I had an M3 of that era.
Yes.
Okay, I had an E92 M3 with a Dynan stroker kit. So it was 4.4 liters, I think it was.
Wow.
And it was quote unquote 527 horsepower. No chance. I was getting walked by 335s. Okay? And so that's the problem with these things.
That's why I think the S65 or even the Dynan stroker, it is just not enough torque for the body of the E9X, the coupe, the sedan, the wagon, whatever. Yeah. That's why it needs to go into a 1 Series. And the few builds that are out there with that engine have been spectacular.
Okay, but fair enough. But okay, so what you're clearly sort of, giving up for dead that you're not going to beat anybody in a straight line because any 335 or 135 will hand you your ass.
Smoke you.
Exactly.
Literally.
But you have better sound and you have superiority. Like what are we talking here?
I'm talking the ultimate.
Are we straight piping this thing?
No, it doesn't even matter actually. I would have valves, of course, in the ultimate builds.
ITBs, right? You gotta have
ITBs, valves, you name it. I think that a 6-speed manual S65 135i build. Throw on the wide body. Just
not wide
kicks.
body. You
can put on factory parts if you really want, if you're a connoisseur, and then just spend another 10 grand, But my point is, I would do a 1M clone because I do not like the 1M.
What?
Personally, I
freaking love a 1M.
I think if I wanted a 1M, I would just buy a 135i and soup it up.
You're not wrong, but the 1M, the thing that makes it cool is the drama of it, right? Those flared arches, it's just
pretty. That's why I'm saying I think it's gorgeous.
And isn't the 1M
it just has the
largest, most widened M car from the original 135?
And not only that, it's just the width to track. right? Like the width to wheelbase, phenomenon that just makes it look cooler, right? You can have a wider car that's super long, it looks a certain way, but that M is so pugnacious and just kind of.
Yeah. The worst thing about a 1 Series, I will say, that's any 1 Series, M or non-M, it's the sinking floor. And I never saw this until a friend of mine said, look at a 1 Series from the side profile and look at the door and read the door. You'll see what I mean. It's got a sinking quote-unquote floor.
Interesting.
Once you see it, you can unsee it.
Fair. But I'm with you on the 135. I think that's a lot of car. And that one that you had was 13 grand or something?
13.9 Canadian
and you can just
Alpine White.
beat the snot out of it.
And the
And it was a manual.
Manual.
Yeah,
and
that's
factory brakes are 4-piston, I believe. Brembo.
Nice.
They're good brakes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a great substrate. And it, to your point, like you take that car and you say, okay, that's a $13,000 car.
Yes.
The equivalent 1M is going to be 40 grand, and it's like one tune away. Yes, you got M3 suspension. Yes, you got blah blah blah, some brakes, some M3 brakes, but the standard setup is pretty damn good.
And it could be, I would argue, there's been talk on the internet of what would be the cheap man or the poor man's GT3 RS.
No.
I would actually argue putting an S65 high revving V8 into a 135
The argument of
would
like
be the
cheap
ultimate
man's
car.
GT3. It's such a flawed thing to talk about. Because a GT3 is a GT3. Like you can't make a thing of a
I'm
thing.
talking the
You know what I mean?
closest to compete with power to weight.
Okay.
And I'm talking driver dynamics. It's never going to be at that level. We all know that. There's a reason why GT3s are GT3s. But I'm just saying that I think, putting a low-mounted S65, get it in there right.
All right.
You could have a lot of fun for sub 50 grand, or just drive it stock and still have it track ready for under 20 grand. I think it's a crazy value.
I'm with you on that. I like that. What have you got?
You know what? I was looking through Marketplace. He reposted it again.
There's my guy. There's my M3
But
guy.
now it's 12K.
Yeah, that was.
And
When did you put that list up?
10 days ago.
Okay, yeah,
And
that's
he
the one I
said,
responded to.
No ballers, 12K is my lowest.
Okay.
The last time I posted it, it had way too much time wasters. Need gone ASAP.
So I lowballed him, even though he said no lowballs. But I prefaced it. I'm like, look, I hope you don't think this is a lowball, but here's my offer. I'll take it.
I just told him when and where.
Yeah, exactly. So this dude will maybe respond to, maybe not. It'll be interesting to see if he's still out of town, which is his story to me. But anyhow, apparently, like in chatting to some other friends, this guy has been talking about this car. For those of audio listeners, we've got last week's E46 M3 convertible that I tried to buy for $10,000. Now Matthias is trying to buy for $12,000.
No, not 12. I might want to bring it down a little bit. 11.
All right, so he's going 11. And and this guy's not.
I mean, that's a lot of carb.
Absolutely, it's a lot of carb.
It's a lot of
and you
carb.
can part that thing out for like.
Oh, I don't
30
do
grand.
part outs. That's morally.
No, nor do I.
No.
Nor do I. But you might, some degenerate over here might want to put in a V8 or something.
Oh,
so
of
you can
course.
sell
Great
that.
coffee table.
Make a coffee table. That's a solid car. That's solid.
But what do you think you're going to be in that car for ultimately if you were to keep it? Say you bought that car and you wanted to make a track ready. And
I
you didn't
mean,
want to
I
blow
would
it up.
never make a convertible track ready. That's
Fair
what
enough.
They're just too heavy. Those
That's
damn cars.
just like a cruising kind of car.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
what do these cars need? Are they really?
They need 500 pounds of weight.
They used to be called the Big Three, now they're called the Big Four. Vanos, subframe,
Oh yeah.
And it says none of it done.
SMG if you have SMG.
Rod bearings.
And I think the last one is rod bearings, that's right.
Yeah.
So it's more of a car you buy now and sell in the summer, pretty much.
Well, okay, but here's the thing. A car like this is almost certainly going to need rod bearings.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I mean, Vanos maybe, but everything else, I mean, it's a manual, so you got really SMG. And the subframe, this is 2003. I think the early ones had more cracking. Some of the older ones were more prone, so it may be, and that's something that you can easily inspect, unlike rod bearings. So, worth a punt. And for 10 G's, man, if it blows up, you still sell that. You can sell that shell for a certain amount, or you can do Adrian style and put a shittier engine inside a car and say, hey man, let's put an M52 in there. It'll be sweet.
So I know two people that had both of them were SMG E46 M3s.
Yeah.
Both coupes. One guy on the island, the other one down in Seattle, and they both purchased them for sub $10,000.
Well, that's what they were.
And drove them.
And that's what they were.
For a little bit of time.
Oh, is this recent?
No, this is now,
This
I
is
guess,
recent, right?
4 years
We
ago.
got a friend who bought a Slick top, E46 M3 manual for 11 recently.
Recently?
Yeah,
Really?
recently, like in the last
E46?
4 months. Yeah,
Nice. Slick top.
yeah, low
But,
ball of 10K.
but it was an SMG.
No, manual.
Oh, that's
And
crazy.
by the way,
No, crazy deal.
Rebuilt.
No,
Nothing.
original owner in
How many-
Richmond.
Oh my god. See,
Yeah.
that's a dream. How many Ks on it?
Don't
At least
know.
200.
Oh, like
It's gotta be
240,
yeah, it's gotta be
something.
200.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's the other thing. You
Yeah.
gotta sacrifice Ks for, but still, I mean,
you got the car.
that
Yeah.
car, and especially in a good color, like a non-silver,
It's
non-black.
it's black.
Have you seen that? Have you guys seen that one? There's two that I love. There's that sort of Mexico blue with red. I've seen that one around town. And then there's another one that's kind of seafoamy green with a tan sort of glove leather. Oh man, those two, like they made some great color combos on these E46.
I mean, they don't sound too appealing, but
But here's the thing. You know, I found myself recently looking at a gold Ferrari and thinking, hey, that's some shit to have. Maybe I'm getting old, I don't know. But I'll tell you.
I don't know if it's old, but it might be something.
But I'll tell you something.
Yeah.
Being in the game a while, you realize different is better, even if it's ugly. Like, no, but think about this. I know.
all
it's-
right, the
it's-
Aston
it's-
Martin's a gutter.
It sounds fucked up, but it's true. Okay, think about it. Because here's the thing: if you have 1,000 of whatever car, right?
Yeah.
There's always one person who thinks, "Oh man, that puke green color on that car, that's
So-
the thing to have."
The first thing I think about is Mansouri. I think of
Oh,
Gambala.
that's
When you
rough.
say what you just said.
That's rough.
No,
That's hurtful.
Jake Paul just took delivery of his Puro Sangway with some horrific kit on it, and he's happy as can be. 'Cause
But
it's
yeah,
so
okay.
different.
All power to a
Yeah,
person
I mean,
who's happy
fair
with
enough.
their new
No,
car.
but I'm talking about something that was not received well in period,
Okay,
that has now had a renaissance, if you will. And
Or
for-
people have gotten.
but that's
yeah, they've gotten
intelligent.
used to it in terms of color. So for example, this Amazon green, right?
yes.
This color is, I mean, you could say what you like, whether you like it or don't like it, but in period, it was a very rare spec. Most people, no, you gotta have the Guards red, or you gotta have this, or the
Yeah.
Alpine white.
Mhm.
And now the Grand Prix white. Now they look at those, and those are the ones that are the least valuable in the market.
Yes.
If you find what was that one? Iris, what is that? Vesuvio. There's that purplish color on the 993s.
Okay.
It's like purple. Like who wants a purple car, right? Or who wanted? Not
Yeah.
many. Now, if you find a Vesuvio 993, it's gonna pull 20 grand.
Ruby Star. I think
Ruby Star.
Jeremy Clarkson. Yeah.
20% above the market in terms of the right color. And
Yeah.
even the bad colors, I think still will pull a premium because there's somebody who wants to be different.
Sure.
Because the car itself is not differentiable otherwise.
Well, Auto West Classic Garage, as you guys know, who's a BMW classic dealer in Vancouver here, they had probably the ugliest spec E12 5 Series I've ever seen in my life. It was
What are we talking?
puke on puke,
Nice.
and it sold for an eye-watering amount of money.
Exactly.
Could not understand it. Even my sales rep at Auto West said, "Can you believe this?" He showed me the car. We were both,
Yeah.
fell ill after. But
I mean, it's presentation and it's to the right person. There's always color is one of these things where you restrict your market segment, but in that market segment, you've got no competitors.
Yeah.
Right? In that sliver of the market, you've got no competitors. So if you have a nice car, there's only 10 of them out there. If you have one that's the right color, people will pay, they have to pay what you ask because they'll never be able to find another one.
Sultan spec.
Selling the Brunei spec, Dubai spec,
Jeffrey was probably experimenting with some
good stuff.
Some good stuff, right?
Hey, I respect. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what he's doing with those cars, but man, awesome. Okay, so my pick. I've seen this car come up a couple of times. It's on Bring a Trailer right now. It is a 1977 911 cab, okay? But it's in drag. Looks like the whole thing is done up to be a 993 turbo convertible, okay?
Wait, a 70s?
Yeah, it's a 77 3-liter, I think.
Oh, so it's a
Or maybe it's a G body. I don't know if it's a
993?
Yeah, no.
So they
No,
post-dated it.
Yeah, so because every G body
Update.
from the short nose
Modernized.
all along, everything from like whenever 72, whenever they went to the short nose, to the end of the 993 production, everything just swaps out. Like if I could presto this thing and turn it into a 993, or I could backdate it into a whatever. That's why.
A singer. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what they do. They start with these and they make them look however, right?
Yeah.
So that car has had that done. So I think
It's on Bring a Trailer?
It's on Bring a Trailer. It's silver. And the interesting thing about it is he has a twin turbo engine. So it started out, I don't know where the turbo, like, I don't know if it started out as a wide body or what he did to it, but it's a twin turbo engine. It's polar silver, and it is, let me see, where does it keep going?
But it's got a 993 body on it.
Yeah. Just Google, just look for Porsche turbo. It's not showing up.
So it's a 5-speed.
It's a 5-speed. Yeah.
Swap probably. Because originally those were 4s.
Yeah, but he's done everything. The interior is 993 correct. The exterior is 993 correct. And
What color?
Porsche silver. Porsche did make a 993 turbo cab. It doesn't look as good. I mean, to me personally, I would have preferred a hardtop. But if you just Google it, generally Bring a Trailer 993
Well, there was a guy that took his, I think, 964 and turned it into a 959 locally. And I cringed.
Yeah, that looks like more like a BMW thing than a 959. I mean, I remember those kits were popular back in the day, and they just all looked whack. I mean, obviously, a 959 is essentially produced based on the production.
Do you think that this car was devalued by upped it into a 993 look? Obviously, right?
Well, I think when people buy a car like this, they say to themselves, how much would it cost to recreate this thing?
Number one, do you even want to recreate that though?
Yeah, I mean, nobody would. It's like our friend of mine's 911 that who spent 200 grand to make it a $100,000 car. Like, well, what are you doing, right?
I mean, at least that hasn't strayed from what its identity is. I feel like when you're trying to be something else and be a different generation, that's when you get into fishy territory.
Yeah, if you're taking it.
It doesn't feel right.
Well,
you know?
I just have to throw this out there. I did come loaded with this one. That 135i, if I was smoking something else and I didn't want to do the S65 route, have you guys seen the SEMA build of the E9?
No.
It's a 3.0 CSL, but it's the body on top of a 135i. So it's got the M54.
I think I have seen that, actually.
Manual interior. It's got a 1 Series interior. Yeah. But it looks incredible, and they did it in like 3 months.
Speaking of that, I saw a guy who took the body off a 318 Ti and put a 2002 on top of it.
That's a good idea.
Cool.
That's a good idea.
It's a 2002 Ti.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, we're going to have to calibrate here, because you gave me shit for putting an M badge on my M535 with an M5 engine, and that was unconscionable.
It's not an M5.
So but my point is that's going to tell you how, you know, where we sit on the issue. I'm not above a bit of badge engineering, but it has to be justified. Whereas you are a purist, and I can respect that.
Well, so, I mean, I'm a purist to an extent. You know, like I'm not gonna update a car or backdate a car. Okay. Like you gotta buy the car and accept its identity.
But what if you had FU money?
I think I'd stay the same.
You say that?
Yeah, I think so. You know what? Because like, if you want a long hood, get a long hood. But
let me paint you a picture for FU money. This is a conversation I was having yesterday. I was at a shop locally, and they had a 765 LT whatever, the special McLaren in the shop, which is probably what, 600 or 700 grand.
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah. If you look closely on this thing, it's a soft top, like it's a folding top, and it's got snow tires on it. And I'm like, who the hell's driving this in the snow? And the shop owner was saying, well, this owner, he's a billionaire, so he just drives these things around, and he specifically likes snow driving. So he had me put these wheels on, and he's going up to Alaska or something. He's going to do a proper road trip in this thing. And you think to yourself, okay, that is
I love it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But if you've got FU money and you don't care, like the worst thing that's going to happen is the car's going to break or get stuck in a snowbank. The last time something like that, he was telling me, the guy called him and said, hey, I put this thing in a ditch, and here are the coordinates. It was in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. And then he just got his chopper to wherever he was going next. Yeah. And then one of his minions picked up the car. That's FU money.
But I think that FU money revolves around doing cool things with cars that are the car. When you have a G-body turned to a 993 turbo that's being something that it isn't, and something that's better than it is.
Okay, but
Because
let's take the alternative perspective. Okay,
yeah,
let's say you want a 993 turbo cab.
and you
Okay,
get a 993 turbo cab.
there's 14 made, and they're going to be $1 million plus.
Okay.
So do you want a 993?
I don't, but if you did,
but that's
if
just
you
that
did,
few money at the end of the day.
but
Yeah.
the whole point of this exercise is we don't have a few
Yeah,
money, so
yeah.
we have to create our dreams. Like
So how much was this car? I didn't hear the
so
price.
it sold for 50 grand last time, and
It
it'll
sold
sell
for
for less than that. And it looks like a 993 turbo, like and interior wise, and it's going to perform similarly. It's
Oh,
probably got
God.
400 horsepower. So at a certain point, you're like, well, what is authenticity, right? It's not like we started out.
Now we're open to stuff. Well, I agree with you, but I also think that we were talking about replica cars and a different, like Porsche Speedster replicas.
Yeah.
I don't own a replica Speedster. I do want to own one. I think for 50 grand, now we go back to 50 grand, that's a great car for 50 grand. You can
Absolutely,
drive
it's
it
all
every
about
day.
the money. It's all about the number.
Yeah.
And I just think that if I had one, I do think the purist within would eventually find the devil in the details. Eventually, I will be like, now I want something else.
So you
because-
think this thing's gonna rot you from the inside out because you're feeling fake
No,
about
the
it?
beauty of having a car like that is then you can guilt-free drive it, you can park it, you can enjoy it. That's the beauty of having a car, like that.
Exactly.
And that's what you live by philosophy-wise.
I do.
And I
absolutely
respect
do.
that.
I absolutely.
I baby my cars. I keep them forever, longer than I should. They're like relationships I should have broken.
When's the
up
last time you sold a car?
That's what it would have. Yeah, it's been my own cars.
Touch
I
your
haven't even signed the cars.
He's gonna tear up.
Yeah. It's like losing your children. I get that.
You know what? I actually feel good about all the cars I've let go because now that I've consolidated to one car that's BMW.
But how long did it take you to feel good about that? Because I'm sure you had a hole in your heart each time you sold a car.
I think I had a hole in my heart
Maybe it
before I
still
parked
hurts.
it. Once it
You
was.
heard the pain in that side.
No, I will say the only hole would be my E34 540 and my E38 740. Ironically, both had the same powertrain.
Yeah.
But
So you still miss those cars?
I wouldn't trade my E28 for either one. But
Okay.
Okay.
I miss them.
Okay.
I miss
Yeah,
them.
I mean, missing a car is normal.
Yeah.
But I mean, philosophically, as you said, I'm under the I operate under the premise of accumulating experiences, right?
Yeah.
And for me, if I was so inclined, and I was so inclined not so long ago to have a 993 turbo, I love those, or I loved them.
Mm-hmm.
This wouldn't be my preferred spec because I don't like the cab in that car specifically. But nonetheless, let's say this was a hardtop car, 50,000 that looks identical, performs very similarly, and is essentially the same car. Because again, back to what is authenticity. Is it only authentic if Porsche slaps on the different wings and the different whatever, or can you do it in your garage? I mean, some people would say, taking another Porsche example, for example, is the CGT thing. Carrera GTs. They almost all came in silver, right? But now Porsche has a program where you can take your silver car and you can paint it any color that you want, and Porsche will do it. They'll take it apart and they'll do whatever, and they'll make it lime green or whatever,
Yep.
or they'll give you a period correct color because a few of them are in silver and black and so on. So, but then there's the line that some purists will take and say, well, it wasn't.
Done in period.
Yeah, it wasn't done in period, right?
Yeah.
So there's a silly degree you can take any of these things, and I don't disagree that maybe there's some value ramifications for a market for a car that's had it done aftermarket, but I'm a bottom feeder. I'm not one of those guys, right?
Yeah.
So as a bottom feeder, I accumulate experiences, and I don't care what the thing like. This is a converted manual car. This is a wrecked car, and it used to be a cab. I made it a convertible. I made it a hardtop, and I love it, right? It drives like a hardtop. It looks like a hardtop. What's not to like, right?
Oh yeah.
Squeaks like a hardtop.
It doesn't anymore.
No, good,
I fixed
good.
all that. So you can create your perfect car,
Sure.
and I think people live in prisons in their mind to say, well, what will I be thought of? What will my actions be judged as?
I'm coming around. Yeah.
Will they be judged as insincere? And yes, they will be.
Yeah.
But you just got to lean into it and say, I'm doing this because I enjoy it. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not wrong to be a purist because I think it keeps your automotive compass more correctly aligned with true north, right? I respect that, whereas I'm all over the place. I don't know what's what,
Yeah.
right? But I will say this, that you will lose out on experiences
Yeah.
if you insist on a certain degree of, whatever, right?
Well, it's just that last 10th degree. I think, for example, I had fake M parallels on my 7 Series at
Yeah.
one point, and I was the only one who knew that.
Yeah,
Everyone else just like, oh, those are great wheels,
exactly.
Never had one person call me out on my fake,
Exactly.
whatever.
So there must be one guy who crawled in under your car to look for the stamping.
Well, there's a way to tell. The rear wheels are just slightly wider. The lip is wider on the rear. So every time I looked at the rear, it would bother me. Every time. But, in all realism, nobody knew. And it was a square setup, so it was easier on tires. I could rotate my tires. I sold them for like $600-700. I paid $100 for them.
Amazing. And that's it. I mean, these are fake speed lines.
Yeah.
These are fakes of $15,000 wheels. They're beautiful, and no one can tell the difference except me.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, people can
That
tell
was
because
hesitant.
Well, for example, you are the Ed Bullion of South Street. Ed
I work hard
Bullion
for that.
put on Chinese wheels on his
You
Bugatti.
said
These are
Ed
Chinese.
Bullion of-
These are
Ed
Chinese.
Bullion of South
So you're
Street.
the Ed Bullion of South Street. It's my
I
good for you.
wear that moniker as a
pride.
badge of honor.
But I think it's great that Ed Bullion tries to find a workaround, even though Bugatti has already said they're going to figure out a workaround. He's still beating Bugatti to
Well,
their
absolutely. I mean,
their
look,
request.
I mean, there are any number of people working in their garages with 3D scanners, taking everything that was essentially sacred at one stage and just replicating it. We live in a new world now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that it affords opportunities to the purists, to the non-purists that are not, you take this car. I had a factory gated car once years ago, and it was twice the price of this car, more than twice. And as much as I loved driving it, I just thought, well, I can't afford the miles on this. I had to sell it. So I got an F1 car, which is maybe, a third and a bit of that.
Yeah.
And then I converted it to manual, so now it's maybe, a half of that car, and it drives identical.
That's what you said, yeah.
And there's no difference. And to me, and the Ferrari purist with the tweed jacket and the elbow patches might say, well, what did Enzo want this car to be? Well, Enzo
And
wasn't
I
alive
feel
at
like
that
we're
time.
kind of like on the timeline where that kind of purist is like going towards the senior home. Like the younger
You're
people,
not
like
wrong.
the younger people don't think that way.
Absolutely.
I think so, and
No, I
that's
think you're
gonna
right.
appreciate a car like this.
Absolutely.
They're gonna come around.
Yeah, I mean, the market is the ultimate arbitrage, and it's quite an interesting thing to see how gated cars or otherwise converted cars where the conversion is essentially almost universally accepted as an upgrade. So I mean, you can forget this. Let's say you take an M3. No one loves an SMG. I mean, some people do. Fine, SMG, it was great for its time, but conversions to manuals are ubiquitous, right?
Yes.
And I think we would probably all agree
Yeah.
that a manual converted M3, the market doesn't really distinguish
I
between
mean, my E30 is manual converted.
yeah, but
yeah.
Does the
I don't
market
think it would change.
does the
much.
market distinguish
I don't
between
think so.
your converted car and an actual factory manual? No, it wouldn't.
Because the cars are so cheap, I think it doesn't make the difference. I think if E30s might be worth more, like starting to get to like the 50s
Yeah.
for a pristine, it might be less, but who cares?
Well, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. There's this process of market distinction of how to determine value that I think is flawed.
Completely.
Right?
Yeah.
Value should be derived from the experience that you attain, both in looking at it, driving it, maintaining it, whatever the user experience is, as opposed to, did so-and-so conceive this car to be this way back in the day. I
Yeah.
don't know that really matters to me. I mean, I can see
Yeah.
how it's a component of the ultimate derivation of value. I can see why that's important. But I reject that as
Yeah.
something that is important to me. And, I don't know how you guys feel.
Regarding tranny swaps, I think a very interesting take on
So we're
that.
talking about cars.
Well, cars too,
Okay,
so
okay.
yeah, cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into an ugly car, so speaking of trannies,
Because, I don't know if you guys are swapping when I'm not around. I don't know what's going on.
well, good segue. E60 M5, not the prettiest car. I've owned one. He's had one. I have to say, I think we're at a turning point, gentlemen.
Yeah, I think
We're at a turning point where I'm not talking E60 M5 all day long here, but I think that the DCT transmission swap has come to market now.
Sorry, DCT for the
The
E60?
E60 V10 and the E63.
Which tranny are they using?
They're using an M3 DCT.
Interesting.
And
Even in like Supras and stuff, they're using the DCT and
the
Interesting.
tricky
A lot of
part
stuff,
with
yeah.
the
But this one
Yeah.
came with a single clutch.
Well,
and
yeah,
now they're changing
they
it
were
to
all
DCT.
SMG and 6
Yeah.
speed for states only.
Yeah.
Now, Evolve out of the UK sort of has been pioneering this swap. I mean, Gintani swapped one years ago. We all don't know how it's the software, it's the tuning, the way that car reacts when you
Yeah.
to make it work right with the
Yeah.
factory cluster and everything. They finally cracked the code. So I
Interesting.
think these cars are on a turning point of values going up on anything V10 BMW because of this swap.
You think so?
I don't think so. I know so. I will
You
say
know
I
so.
will say it very
Gee.
strongly now because these cars are dropping somewhat like flies. When I was buying my 60 M5, I will tell you, it took me a year because out of six
And you
or
settled for one that smelled like milk food.
I found the cleanest one I could possibly find that had a tainted title with a story, but was the cleanest one out of all the other ones that had clean titles that had lower mileage.
Fair enough. And the story for those who were not there is somebody.
Well, it had milk spilt in it literally, and because of
It
the
says
spilt
cleaning it
milk,
up,
it
isn't
was
it? What
totaled.
is How was the milk spilled?
Well, you just knock it over like that, and then you leave it in the
You
sun for a
like-
couple days. You give icy, or you give
Oh,
your insurance
okay.
company a call.
I thought somebody actually hacked up some milk in the back seat.
I think they might have actually spilled some milk in the back seat. However, they replaced all the carpeting. I didn't smell anything in the
Amazing.
car. It looked
Amazing.
and smelled like brand new.
And back to our previous point. See, there's a taint on that thing. If it smells the same, who cares what the
It
title
drove
says?
perfectly. It had a
Exactly.
PPI from Porsche that was clean.
Yeah,
I had to
love
buy it. I bought it for
I
steel.
love it. I
But
love it.
if I still had that car, I would be very much considering doing a DCT swap for the reason of it would be an ultimate daily driver car.
Okay, but here's my counterpoint to what you just said.
Yes.
Okay, so you're saying the value on these cars is going up because of the availability of the swap. So here's where I'm going to take you to task because
Yes.
the swap is going to cost as much as the car.
pretty much.
Yeah, this is not going to. I wouldn't say there's going to be a majority stake of DCT swaps out there. I'm just saying that
But the one that's out there is going to be double the regular car, but that's not an increase in value.
I see what you're saying. I think that's still up for debate. We'll see what the market will be for because it hasn't been enough time yet. But there's probably been, from what I've seen online, at least 20, 30 swaps done.
I mean, I don't disagree that I think that's an exciting innovation because you can't argue with a DCT. All you can say is that it's not as maybe engaging. And I almost take the contrarian view in the sense that I think as time goes by, the SMGs become more charming because they're more quaint,
Yes.
right? There's a whole generation of people out there who don't know how to drive manual cars.
Yes.
For them, this is as real and as raw as it gets. They're like, whoa, you can feel
Yeah.
stuff. It's amazing.
I hear you. I just think for stop and go traffic, for downtown driving, if you're on the landscape bridge or you're in a tunnel,
Yeah.
driving an SMG really does not
Yeah, it blows.
feel good, even with
Yeah.
your brand new SMG in the car. But yeah, I just think because the tuning's done right and they work like factory as intended, it's better than the SMG. It's arguably better than the 6-speed that was offered. I think the 6-speed was a total afterthought
Oh, 100% it was.
and not engineered right from out of
And
the
that's,
box.
that's why I didn't buy one. And because I bought the F10
You got an F10
M5 with the 6-speed, and I thought this is going to be the cat's ass. And it was the cat's ass because it was clear that no development work had been done on this manual. The ratios were poorly chosen.
Mhm.
It did not complement well with the engine.
Mhm.
And I thought that was going to be a forever car, which was a discussion we'll have down the road at some point. But I was disillusioned because I was just like, this is not engaging. It feels rubbery and mushy, and that BMW shifter feel for manuals really takes away from what is otherwise great.
Yes.
And it took me several generations of cars to come back. When I eventually bought my M2 CS with a manual, everything was fixed, and it was a great
Amazing.
pairing. Yeah,
Amazing.
great pairing. So if it came down to taking an E60 and converting it to what I like, or what I would choose to drive more, and you would choose to drive more,
Mhm.
I'm hearing you would go DCT rather than manual.
I would do a wagon DCT all day long.
Interesting.
Seriously, that's the car. If
Okay.
I were to ever go back to the dark ages.
So you don't have like big dogs or like what is it that you're carting around in the back of this wagon?
Keyboards,
Oh, fair.
maybe
Okay.
audio equipment.
Okay, all right.
He's
All
gonna
right.
think of something to justify.
Yeah, boxes. I don't know.
IKEA.
Costco, like, dude, it's a Costco ride.
yeah.
Right?
If it's
I don't know. Any thoughts? What do you think of these?
I mean, I'm not a fan.
You're a manual guy, right?
I am. Yeah, every car I have is manual right now. But
And
I think some cars are better without it.
You're not wrong. You're
Like
not wrong.
Mercedes W124s, I feel like are
Come
great.
on, man. Yeah, 500E with a manual.
Okay, that's cool. But like
That
my
would be sick.
300 TE was pretty good with automatic.
Okay, well, when you're talking about shit boxes,
Yeah,
you're
okay.
not gonna spend money. You're not gonna like,
Yeah.
So
I
do you
get it.
guys know about this guy? I wish I had the name. Sorry, I'll throw it in the description maybe. He swapped manuals into his CL65 AMGs. He had 2 of them, and it has this Chrysler.
That's a 6 point. Yeah, it's a crossfire.
Chrysler Crossfire
bell
pedal
housing.
box.
Yes.
And I just, I'm so sorry to tell you this, guys, but like, you sound so sick out, in the fantasy world. But when I watched the video, it just
Wasn't good.
I didn't even have to be in the car, and I just had to say to myself,
Really?
just throw the automatic back in. I have an affliction, or I have
Yeah,
this.
but you
thing
love
for-
a good slush box. That's your thing, right? You love that.
Well, I think for that kind of car, it makes sense.
Okay, so that swap, there's another evolution of that swap. There are people out there taking these things and putting them into C63 blacks and CL63 blacks.
Okay, that's different.
Same substrate, more or less. Maybe a different tune chassis,
CLK Black
whatever.
Series, they've been swapping.
Yeah.
And I've seen that.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
I think it would be sick.
I think it's
But,
sick.
Yeah. So to me, when it comes down to it, if I had the choice of a really good automatic, which is essentially what a DCT is, versus a manual, I'd always take a manual. And I know that it'll be slower. My left leg will start to hurt. Like when I drive this thing long distances, my leg starts to hurt.
Sure.
But, that's pain that, it's like something that once you accept that you don't like that, you're never going to go back. And so, I don't know. At the current moment, I take your point, maybe down the road. But for right now, I don't know. I like it. I would do it, but I would prefer a manual instead. And you know what I would do? I would just like clean up the manual, make it less rubbery. A couple little
Yeah.
like the shift linkage in my
Yeah.
E28. You felt that, right?
It's
That's a
tight.
BMW
It's
linkage,
tight.
but it feels like it's made of stone. It's like,
Yeah.
and it is really positive shift action, which is something
Yes.
BMWs traditionally lack.
Yeah.
All right, gents. The next topic we have is. Did I say my choice? Yeah, I said my choice.
Yeah.
You said your choice, Will. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So the next topic is, you've got 50 grand. You've got to make one new car pick, one old car pick, and you've got to drive it for the next. What did we say it was? 5 years.
5.
Did we say 5 years? Or did we?
I mean, let's go with 5 years.
What was that scenario that we were talking about? Well, this scenario is built around a choice that he's already made. So,
Okay.
so we are going to look at his choice and then talk about how shit it is. So
Okay.
go ahead.
It's E30 M3. I think they're going down-ish in Bring a Trailer.
Yeah.
I saw a couple sell for like 40-ish.
40
High
US?
40s.
US?
US.
Okay.
So we're talking US.
Okay.
We made it US.
Yeah.
I think that's a great car.
So you got, 40 US, so let's make it 60,000.
Yeah.
So for you, 60,000 in your pocket, you're reaching for 195 horsepower? Really?
Yeah.
That's on its best day, I think.
On its best day.
No, that's
Down
like
a hill.
brand new.
That's brand new.
No,
That's
I
brand
think
new.
so. I think so. It's like not many cars have the presence of an E30 M3.
I mean, they're gorgeous. I agree with that.
When's the last time you saw one on the road in Vancouver?
They're too damn valuable to drive, aren't they?
I mean, you got G bodies that are worth way more than E30 M3s. They're all about,
On the road, yeah.
but you never seen E30 M3.
Because, okay, but what was it? I don't know the answer to this, but I would guess it was in the neighborhood of 5,000 or 10,000 cars that they made, right?
Well, probably, yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to G-body Porsches, where everyone says
That
they're
is
low
true.
production, but they made 100,000.
There's so many,
right?
yeah.
So there's a selection bias in terms of production numbers, but I don't I don't
I
disagree.
mean, like, fight me. Like, one's more iconic from the front. Like,
Yeah.
you have the presence of an E30 M3.
Yeah, but you can romanticize any concept.
I
That's
guess
my
so.
point, right?
Okay.
So look at this guy's E28 love,
Thank
right?
you.
You can't get past E28 love because he's thinking, I got the double headlights, I got the twin grill, I got the manual, I got the
And a vision problem.
yeah,
Coming from,
and I got the overbike bumpers.
I was an E34 guy. It was my second
Yes,
car.
That's my jam.
And for me, my first car was an E32 705, the undesirable BMW. Even back then, and nobody drives an E32 to this day. I'd never see a clean E32 on the road.
And if you do, they're always gold.
And they're never car guys that
Bronze.
drive it. Mine was bronze, I think. The cleanest one out there. I think that E34, I thought it was the OG, it was the top BMW, no bad angles, just right. Quad headlights, less the quad headlights, but I do take it all back now. Parking my E28 next to E34s, even E39s, I'll say.
Yeah.
I had an E39, and I have to say, I don't miss my E39 at all. I miss the E34 more,
Yes.
but the E28 just hits it home. To me, it's a car that even when my girlfriend's driving it at 200 kilometers an hour and I'm in the passenger seat, I feel just as alive in the passenger seat.
Interesting. So you would take an E28 over an E34?
All day long.
So, the purist would say that the E28 is a better car because it weighs 300 or 400 pounds less, right? So that would be my only argument.
Sure.
And I made this choice not too long ago because I love an E34.
Yes.
I have had an E34 540 6-speed, and it was slow as balls. I just remember that, and I was.
There's something wrong here.
And I suppose I don't know, right? Because it was a 4-liter, it wasn't the 4.4.
Sure.
So, and then the tranny blew, and I just had headaches with it, and I eventually sold it. I bought it for $7,000, and I sold it for $7,500. It was a beautiful, beautiful car. Like, I just love the aesthetic on that car.
Yes.
But it wasn't what I was hoping it was going to be. So that thing in mind, I was faced with the same choice. Again, on Bring a Trailer, there was these two very dissimilar cars that I loved, and they were, to the point of what we were talking about before. They had both been engineered. Neither of them had left the factory the way they, this way, but they'd been turned into my vision of perfect. So the one was an E34 that had the wide nose, the wide grills on the later cars.
Yeah,
okay.
95, yeah.
So it was like the M540s, 540 M Sport look.
Yeah.
Okay, with the later, they had those body claddings underneath that were two-tone.
Like side skirts, right?
Yeah, but they were two-tone, and so it had the look of the later E34 M5 or 540 M Sport.
Yeah.
But in place of that inline six, they'd taken it out and put in an S14 Nissan engine, which made probably 400.
S14 is the SR20, right?
I can't remember which engine it was, but it was a.
I think it was a 2JZ.
No,
that's a Toyota.
Was it a 2JZ?
I think it was a 2. You're talking about the purple.
Yeah, maybe it was a 2JZ.
It was a 2JZ.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're all over that one, I remember.
Yeah, I sent that
I
to you.
don't know.
And and I've seen that come up, and I was like, God damn, I want that car.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't in a position, and it sold for not much money,
Yes.
20,000 US. For that guy, that engine alone is worth 20 grand now, right?
Sure.
And man, it was beautifully turned out. And I just hadn't made the mental decision that I'm gonna buy that. I need another car like I need a Holden Head.
Yeah.
Then and now, but I snoozed on it, and then even after the auction, I was like, if you sell, I'm pretty sure I bid on it, but I just didn't go to the max level. And then the car that I ended up buying was an E28 M535 with a 3.8 liter inline six from a later Euro only M5. It's essentially an M5 clone.
It's awesome.
Yeah. But in my heart of hearts, I still think the E34 looks better.
So I understand that debate. I think aesthetically E34 could be given that crown.
Yeah.
But I think driving wise, if I had an E34 M5 3.6 for an afternoon, took it all over.
Wait, which E34?
M5.
Oh, okay, that's
Black car.
Yeah.
And that car sold on Cars and Bids, but that car.
Your buddy sold that
He
car?
sold it. It's gone.
Okay.
Yeah, it got 24.
Damn, I told you we should have bought it for that
Was
number.
that the one that was on Marketplace?
No.
Or
That was the one with the gear issue?
Yes, it had a transmission.
And he still brought 24. Good for him.
Through Classic Garage, they
Fixed it.
They didn't fix it. They put it up on.
Put in some sawdust and
They
made it
put,
run
no, they
properly.
put it on. They came clean with all the issues, but somebody was very happy about
Well,
it.
was it suspension thing working in the back?
The rest of that car was perfect.
The suspension leveling?
Everything.
Okay.
It was all new, and it actually had a brand new exhaust on it. He swapped the exhaust onto his blue car before he sold it. Smart guy. Because the exhaust on the 34 M5 is $7,000 today. Just the catback.
That's
factory.
That's okay. Wow.
It's ridiculous. No, I still say E28 M5 or 535 or your Frankenstein M5. I take it over any E34.
Interesting.
I seriously mean
Even that 2JZ?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't understand that. So, I'm still blinking hard because that.
Because it solves the weight issue of the E34. That's why that engine match.
The real problem with E34s, I have to say, I forgot to mention, it is the steering. I never understood it when I owned my 540 because I had a steering box. And honestly, I was used to it. When you have it loaded up, it feels great.
Yeah.
It's just that every
Yeah, but
time
the
you turn
E28
it.
has a steering box too, and it's also shaped.
No, it's
It's a
rack and
rack.
pinion. Rack and pinion.
Yeah.
There's
Is
no
it?
box.
I thought it was a box.
No, there's
No.
play on center because it's just 80s
Old, yeah.
old steering rack.
Okay.
But those cars, I mean, especially any E28, it's just the steering, the handling. It's just the way it feels light on its feet.
Okay.
I just can't tell you how much that I think is going to be more appreciated even more because everything's too heavy nowadays. Everything's too heavy.
You're not wrong.
I mean, the new M2
yeah.
is heavier than an E28, which is a 2 Series or a 5 Series.
It's
Like,
significantly
Significant. It's like
Yeah, it's
500
3,800
to 1,000 pounds
Yeah.
more
And
than
the
an
new
E28.
M5 weighs over 2 tons.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's like they're making boats. Yeah.
They're making boats, but I guess you have to be fair with these things. Like initially, I was very critical of the new M2, and I'll tell you why. Because I had an older, like I had the previous F87 M2,
Yeah.
which is 300 pounds lighter, and I'm like, what have they done? Blah, blah, blah.
That's a beautiful M2.
It was, and it still is. And then I realized that, I was listening to a podcast where I can't remember who it was talking about, look, you cannot be critical of this car because you have to understand its genesis. There's not a usage case for these cars as standalone, bespoke engineered examples like an E30, right? The only way they're going to continue to exist is if they platform share. And this thing platform shares with an M3, M4, right? That's the only reason. And I think as a modular platform, I think it's even shared with the 5 Series. The engineering budgets are much less, they stretch the dollar more. And so the only way for this car to exist is it has to be heavier because it's got this heavier frame and it's got these heavier things and it shares all these components. And if you take that as a given that you have to share, then I would choose to have the possibility of owning that car versus not, right? Because I have
Yeah.
no interest in the commuter shitbox variation of that. I
Yeah.
want the M2 if I'm going to
But you're
get
talking
one.
about like the 240.
Well,
the new one.
Okay, but that, you make a good point. The M240 Xi, if that thing came in manual, that would actually be
Yeah.
the superior car in my view. Because B58, you can still tune that up to God knows what. It's manual, it's cheaper,
And
it looks
I
cool.
kind of like the front of it
I
compared
do.
to the what's it called, M car.
Yeah.
Like it's got a good BMW look.
the
Yeah.
M235i. I remember this vividly when that model came out.
Yeah,
I thought,
that's-
what the heck is this?
That's great.
And I didn't understand that back in the OG days they were M535. I didn't know that back then.
Yeah.
I was just a
Yeah.
young kid,
Yeah.
and I thought, well, this is kind of like devaluing the brand.
Well, that was when they began to whore it up. Now it's much worse.
But honestly, no, it is much worse. But on that topic, I don't think we can point fingers at BMW here. I think the absolute nightmare topic would be AMG.
Yeah, AMG's been watered down. Like, look, the last AMG I was seriously considering was the 190E 2.316.
Yeah, sure.
Coincidentally, the last one that ever came with a manual.
But also, I mean, I'm also finding myself looking on Craigslist. I'm like, what happened to all those crappy, cheap 420 SCLs? And what happened to all those 500
They're still out there,
W140s?
though. They're
They
still
are
out
still
there.
out there. They are. You don't want them.
Yeah, no, you don't.
But anyway, these cars, I think they're getting more rare, especially nice ones. And there are people out there hoarding them.
Yeah.
I've been to these garages, and
And I don't get it.
I don't quite get it either. But I think anything pre-merger AMG, obviously, as you already know,
Yeah,
it's crazy now.
Yeah.
And these cars could have been bought for pennies on the dollar.
No, seriously,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Pennies on the
Yeah.
dollar.
absolutely.
And there's still deals out there. I think a point of contention would be that Brabus W220. I think I saw. If I'm not mistaken, is it, based on
That's a round eye, the double
round
round eye.
yeah. It was on the island for 40-ish grand Canadian, something like that. But a
You know,
full
you
legit.
slap a Brabus badge on. What does that even mean? Like,
No, it had the full engine,
Oh, it
had
had the
the
engine, okay.
full powertrain with the kit. Again, I think that something like that, patina collection out there, they're hoarding these kind of cars. I do think these cars could be special, but I've never driven one. I don't know I never got Mercedes. I never understood the full reason, except for C63 507. I think for sub $50,000, there's a pretty compelling car that isn't automatic.
is that your $50,000 choice? Bringing us back?
I think it's up there.
It isn't bad, yeah.
It's a good choice, and specifically the four-door. Specifically. In fact, we know there's a gentleman who I know in West Van who just started his YouTube career. His two-car solution is a gated V10 R8 and a 507 C63 as a daily.
But you'd go with the 507 only. Because I guess that's 50 grand-ish.
We were talking like they had head bolt issues before.
Yeah.
You can pick up an early one for 20-30 grand.
Yeah.
But to pick up
But
a
they're,
nice...
and they're 450 horse, right?
Yeah, but you pick up 507 horsepower and a whack load of torque. 600 over 600.
I mean, you can make the argument that car is not a bad auto to have, right? Because you
Yeah.
can still hoon the shit out of it, and you can get it sideways. I've never driven one in anger, and I'd be curious.
It's easy.
I mean, yeah, I don't doubt it. I mean, there's something about blowing smoky burnouts, right? I like that idea. Okay, so you're choosing that then.
Well, just to make this spicier, I will just settle it because of inspiration. A gentleman I know down in SoCal bought an SL65.
I do like those.
And I'm going to just tell you, I haven't logged on Facebook
Dude,
in
how
5
old are you?
years.
Just
I'm
for
30. and this guy's also similar age too, so
Going
it's
on
funny.
60,
And he
just
used to own a 3552. by the way.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, I just think that anything 6.0 AMG, CL, S, or SL,
So you're talking about the 6-liter twin turbo.
twin turbo
V12.
V12.
Okay.
They are not as scary as you think, but legit street cars have proven that even one little 50-cent O-ring that's buried in the V could ruin your life.
Oh, jeez.
But the real problem is the suspension on those cars. I don't think it's the engine.
But you can do a coilover. That's a cheap fix.
I'll fix the ABC.
You'll fix it.
See, I'm weird. I wouldn't. It's like it's the
You would fix it.
SMG of an AMG.
No, but you
is the
say that.
ABC.
You say that until somebody says, "Hey, we need 10 grand, and we're not sure we're gonna."
Well,
fix
Matt
it for that."
Farah did a smoking tire run with this astute gentleman, CL Collector.
Yeah.
And he took a 600 out with Matt Farah driving it, and he kept saying, "Yeah, don't do the coilover. Don't do the coilover." He's been spending these huge amount of maintenance bills on keeping this thing alive because all it takes is one little piece of the accumulator to break in the line. It's screwed up.
And then it's
It's tens of thousands of dollars at the end of the day.
so why would you try it?
Because it
and
really
rebuild this
does work excellent. Ed Bullion will back me up.
I doubt it because Ed Bullion is more wired my way than
Ed
your way. He
Bullion
doesn't
did
piss
the
away money.
cannonball with the CL55 with this ABC system, and it was the only way he could have
the
it.
thing is, but even in period, like
Yes.
this was 2009, right? When
Yes.
he did the cannonball record. He had to take it into the shop before he did the cannonball
Oh, I
thing
know.
to get
and it made
it
3,000
repaired in
kilometers.
period.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's gonna break, and he has nothing vested
Like, wasn't
in
his
this
bill
car,
like
right?
10K before he did the run when the
There-
car
there's
was
something,
relatively
you know,
new?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Preventative maintenance, I'll call it. I think it's like an SMG. If you throw all new parts, set up new lines, new accumulators, new pumps, call it 10 grand at the end of the day, it'll probably last you 5 years problem free. Hopefully. That's the
But
theory.
that's not the life I want to live.
Exactly. Like it's just it's almost like fuck you money for a guy who
But
makes
I do
minimum wage.
think
Why
that-
do you do that, right?
exactly.
You get
It's like
the
hurting
engine-
yourself
Yeah.
for no
You
reason.
get the engine out of an exotic, out of a Wyra, arguably.
You don't want peace.
That's like calling the 850 guys and say, hey, this is a McLaren engine.
Yeah.
I think, you know what, the better choice would be a 507-63 because they're going to hold their value. They're not going to go down.
So that's where you're landing on 503?
It's the last big
507?
engine, small Merc, right?
Yeah.
But no, to make things spicy, if I had 50 grand, I would easily spend, it's called 30 grand on a 65 of any sort. 30 to 35 grand, you can find a good one. Leave another 15 in the bank. For
To
the
fix
ABC.
it.
There we
Put
go.
in like
Problem
the
solved.
TFSA.
Okay,
That's my choice.
I will give you that. I am 65 curious.
They're very cool.
Okay,
They're
like
very cool.
I just think it'll be fun for an afternoon to have that kind of limitless torque and just like cruise around. But here's the thing about torque. Torque is cheap. No pun intended, right? Because there was a time, like the first time I felt a big wall of torque, I think it was in a Viper, and I was like, man, this seems otherworldly, right? And this was 20 years ago, 30 years ago probably, and I was like, wow, this is wild. But now, I mean, I get into my pickup truck with its twin turbo V6, and if I put it in sport mode, I can have that same feel, and that's a pedestrian everyday engine.
Yes.
So as they say, torque is cheap, right? And so for me, I don't know if that's the experience anymore. I think it's more about sound. I think it's more about revs, and I think it's more, like with the S38. I don't know if you recall when you were driving mine. There is this position-dependent feel that the engine is going through these phases, and you're feeling it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's before valve timing, right? It's all just one linear thing, but it's just you feel it, and it's like, and
Hands up. Yeah.
you won't get that with turbos. So if you're gonna wax nostalgic about big displacements, I think it has to be non-turbo, personally.
Interesting.
So my choice, I had my choice and now it slipped my mind. So let me cast myself back to what it was. Okay, this is, and I don't know if this is doable. And this is, I'm gonna give you a couple of, preface it a little bit, okay? Assumption one, I have a daily car, okay? And this thing is my fun car, okay? Because realistically, you're not gonna drive your M3, and you're probably not gonna drive your, 65 for different reasons. You're not gonna be able to afford it, you're not gonna be able to afford it for different reasons, gas and whatever, right? So I will add myself into the ring of being able to not afford it, and I'm gonna go Lotus Esprit V8 twin turbo.
Interesting. Theirs are horribly unreliable.
I know.
Horribly unreliable.
It was cool.
I know. But they
Even worse than I thought.
but ask what's his name? The guy on Top Gear. I forget what his name is. James May.
James May.
Yeah. And he's like, this thing is super reliable. And so here's the thing. The Achilles heel of that car is that shitty ass Renault transmission. Okay? So here's my plan. So you buy the car for 50 or 60 grand. It's probably more. They're getting quite expensive now.
Yes.
You buy a couple of spare transmissions, and you just assume the shit is gonna break because it is gonna break. But the way it looks, I mean, that thing, that engine.
Yeah.
When Lotus designed it, they designed it to have 500
the
horsepower.
Tiptronic out of the 997.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't handle it. Lotus designed that engine to have 500 horsepower.
Yeah.
And it's, it's choked up, and because the transmission is the limited
And that's
piece.
the last model year, right?
The last couple
it was
of models,
the last run.
3 or 4, yeah. And then they stopped it,
car.
right? Very cool.
Very
I mean,
cool.
having been in a late 2.2 turbo that a friend of mine's sister had, we went out in it one time, and again, and this was one in my bigger days. So I was like 100 pounds heavier, and I was getting into this thing, and it was like, whoa, like crazy experience.
It was lag, but that torque must have hit you.
And then my buddy's like, this thing would be way faster if you weren't in it. So that was 2.2.
Wow.
So the twin turbo is probably just another order of magnitude. And it's just cool, right? You're not gonna. That thing is just. It's a period experience, right? In the same way, further up the scale, I start thinking about these, twitchy Italian exotics of a certain area that, back in the day I would have never thought twice about.
Yeah.
I find myself thinking about and, really hungering after them more and more. I'm thinking right now about a Diablo very strongly, and I've been thinking about that for a while, and I've made a play on a couple. And, the old me would be like, why would you buy this POS, right?
Yeah.
You sit in it and you feel like you're laying down, and your legs have to be like basically touching.
Yeah.
It's wide here and it's narrow there, and you just kind of feel like, wait a sec, I'm gonna sit here and the door's gonna come down. Like for a second, I had this feeling like I'm being locked into a casket when the door is up. And then you get in and and then you just like, look, this is actually all right. And you just think, man, what an experience that would be, right?
Yeah.
We're out there to build and to capture experiences, right? I just think that the world is going to be filled with these effortless torque monsters that are just going to waft along and give you that Rolls Royce BMW experience. That's going to be common. There's a reason I don't have an electric car, not because I don't think they're good. They are great, but I just know that's coming for me. So I'm just staving off the inevitable, and then hopefully when that choice is imposed upon me, I'll enjoy it because I haven't experienced it previously. And in the interim, I burned tons of diesel and dinosaurs driving around these guys and enjoying them, right? I think that's why we're all here. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. No replacement for displacement.
Exactly.
Petrol.
Exactly. Parting thoughts, gentlemen?
Don't buy a V12 Mercedes.
Wise words.
Yeah.
Wise words. Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna sign off. This is episode 2 of the Ferrariist. Look for us.
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. Or maybe nowhere. So hopefully we're up to 2 subscribers now, maybe more.
Yeah.
But we
We'll
will
subscribe, so that's 3.
Yeah, that's I mean,
We might talk about some Ferraris the
Yeah,
next episode if we get some
That's
following
right.
too.
That's right. So yeah, we're gonna touch on some Ferraris on our next episode. Thanks for tuning in and wasting your time with us, and we will talk to you next time.